Welcome back, everybody, to Growing Up Gaming with the Mooch. And, you know, a lot's happened in this past week. I found out with the subscribers that we've got that you all care about hearing about the truth and the difference between what the media is putting down your throat versus what's actually happening. So I applaud you. Thank you for subscribing. And without further delay, let's get into what's happening this week.
First and foremost, we've always wanted to begin by attacking the media, but the media asks for these attacks because when you have situations like what happened with Gears of War about a week ago, you know, you start seeing the ratings come out and you start seeing 7 out of 10s and 8 out of 10s. This is a genre, this is a game that years ago got a 9 out of 10, a 9.5 out of 10. This IP carries so much tradition, so much history behind it. And to see gaming companies coming out and saying, you know, 7 out of 10, what does that really say? Well, what it says to me is we're dealing with a biased media, a biased corporation, and we've got some sort of revolt in the youth generation, especially in the West Coast area, where they just, how can everybody that works for all these gaming sites all love Sony? I mean, how can that actually exist? There's nothing in the world like that. You know, even Siskel and Ebert with movies, okay? Ebert didn't love everything that Steven Spielberg put out. You know, he liked some of them, and then he critiqued some of them. But Sony does no wrong here, and I'm just getting sick and tired of it. I don't know how this can keep happening time after time, and nobody ever says anything about it. You have IGN, who gave Gears of War an 8.5 out of 10. Well, that sounds great. It really does. But it's not when you actually look further down into the review and you see that the minus that they gave the company, the game, Microsoft, was a subtraction of 1.5 for the mere thought that it was overuse of the A button. Now stop and think about that for a minute. What is that actually telling you? It tells me you're nitpicking. It tells me that you found something that you just couldn't break down. You couldn't diminish. You couldn't destroy it. So you just had to find something. Well, let me tell you something. I've been using that game, that controller, and I love the A button. I like the fact that I hold it down and it sprints the character forward, and the minute you hit an obstruction, his back goes up against it and gives you that duck and cover movement. I like the fact that I only have to press the LT button when I'm in that position, don't have to hold A or keep A held in, and be able to turn the corner and shoot. These are things that I thought mechanics that are from 9 years ago are actually quite impressive. And now, this is what they say. Too much A button.
And so just before I got done reading the Gears of War review, I flip a tab over. There's Metal Gear Solid 5. 10 out of 10. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, people? 10 out of 10? No story, sparse story, too much triangle, too much A button. What the hell's going on? You can't have a game that has no multiplayer element the day it launches. It has a sparse story and give it a 10 out of 10.
This is more favoritism towards Japanese developers. And I understand Metal Gear Solid's on both platforms. However, it is definitely sided with a Sony product. We know that because Kojima has a signed autographed copy of a PS4 Metal Gear Solid that he gave to his very dear friend and well-known broadcasting gaming superstar, Jeff Keighley. You know, somebody who, in my personal opinion, should remain somewhat neutral. Doesn't mean he can't have friends. Listen, I'm old enough and I understand business well enough to know that you have friends in business. I get that. However, you keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Speaking of different games and companies that are associated with Sony but aren't actually owned by Sony, let's dive into No Man's Sky. This is a game that's getting way too much credit. A game that literally almost sparks no one's interest except for the real artsy-fartsy people at IGN and Kotaku that we're just forced to listen to because they've got over 2 billion subscribers. You know, the thing is this. That's not how real gamers play. It's not how real gamers want to play. We don't want to come home and pop in a game and be like, I can't wait to go and check out the 4 millionth planet, which actually sounds like I'm making it up, but he's actually got maybe 10 to 15 to 120 times 4 million planets. Sorry, bud, we're not checking out all those planets.
And what's the deal with the weapon icon in No Man's Sky? I mean, when do you use it? You don't need it. It's a photography class at best. You're taking a picture of wildlife and grass growing, different things in the sea. Or is it maybe when you're in the woods taking a piss and you turn around and there's a creature right behind you? You shoot it quick, then you take the picture. Listen, you're not fooling anybody. There's no need to have a whip and icon. It's not needed. It's just a photography class.
You know, this game has absolutely no right to be getting front and center attention at E3, and has no right to be getting this kind of press coverage. This is something that years ago would have been an Xbox Summer Arcade, or something that Sony just had lost in their many, many indie title games that nobody ever checked out anyways. This is only coming to front and center because Sony doesn't have any games. They don't have anything coming out. So what do? They take a poor developer who doesn't have much money, they're feeding him just table scraps, keeping him along, which actually makes them very happy. If you're a company that's about to go belly up, you're very happy when somebody comes in and says, hey, we'll just give you check to check, and we'll keep you guys alive, and then when this thing launches, I want some sort of exclusivity. And that's what they've got right here. This game is not going to be talked about 14 and a half minutes, not 14 and a half million planets later, minutes after it releases. It's dead on sight. It really is over already. And then they want to charge $60. So you want to pay $60 for this game? I got a bridge you can buy too. This is one piece of garbage that's literally, it's just an artsy-fartsy game. It should be $20 at the highest, and it should come with a free poster. To be honest with you, this is absolutely a disgrace. It's an insult to gamers. $60 for No Man's Sky? We've been talking about this thing since E3 2014. Where is this game? Stop making planets. Put this game into gold, get it on disc, and sell the goddamn thing. Let us all know for certain this thing is garbage. We know it's garbage. Let us just know it's garbage. I can't wait. The little Mooch prediction for everybody. Yes, that's right. When IGN gets it, look, you don't need to watch the review. I'm already telling you. It's a 9 out of 10, okay? It's a 9 out of 10, and they're not going to use too much triangle button, okay? It's all right. It's fine. The game's going to be fantastic. It's over. This is done. Let's drop the No Man's Sky. I don't want to hear it on Twitter. Don't even bring it up. Take it off your list. It's irrelevant. Let's talk about sales for a minute. There's two distinct versions of sales. One's always talked about in the gaming media, and one's never talked about in the gaming media. The one that's always talked about is console sales. Well, yeah, they have sold 25 million PS4s, and I'm saying Microsoft hasn't come out yet, but I think Microsoft's somewhere around the 17, 18 million. And to be honest with you, does that really matter? Because the media wants you to think it does. But let's think about every generation in the past. Let's start with last generation. Last generation, they both ended up right around 90 million units each. One took a huge lead in the beginning, the other one caught up a little later, and when they both ended up, they're about the same. That's going to happen here too. You're only talking 6-7 million apart. That's not a lot of consoles when you're talking about the world, okay? That's not a lot of consoles. Let's start to look at software sales. Software sales across first-party games, Microsoft is dominating. You've got 65 million Halo purchases that have been made over the existence of the IP. And you've got the next closest in Sony, I believe, is 30 or 35 million in Uncharted. That is 2 to 1, and that's 2 to 1 that matters. When you go to a restaurant and you order escargot, you think you're a big shot there? No. The table next to you that ordered the champagne, they're actually the big shot, because the restaurant looks at them like the big shot because there's more of a markup on the booze. There's more of a markup on the champagne. And in this world, the software is the booze. So my whole point behind this is that Microsoft is sitting there and actually laughing at all of this discussion about hardware sales. You're only making a few dollars on those $400. That's not a lot of money. So what? Sony's making $20 per console? Congratulations. Microsoft's making 12 to 20? Congratulations. But on software, they're making like 40, $50. They're making a lot of money on that. And you know, the point of the matter is about software sales. And that's where we're going to dive into that today. We really have to look at what's happening here. Microsoft is currently dominating in the Black Ops 3 and in Destiny sales. These are two things that Sony went after for marketing third-party deals. It's a failure as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter that you see cardboard cutouts in GameStop. The point of the matter is that people are buying those games for Xbox because shooters belong on Xbox. It comes back down to the controls. It comes down to the way that the actual gaming system was made. Microsoft has spent $100 million on the design of the Xbox One controller, and yes, that also includes money put into the Elite controller. That Elite controller is professional gaming. I've got one on the way, and if you don't have one on the way, you will. The minute you go to anyone's home and you see that thing sitting there, you're going to want to have your own. These are the types of things that Microsoft's put its time and money into. They know that sales of software and personal hardware like adapters or new controllers is where they can make some extra money. They don't really care in the console profit. Remember, Nintendo broke even at best. The point of the matter is it's about software sales. So whenever you want to start talking sales with me, you better have software charts up, not hardware, because you look foolish. Let me know what you guys think. I want to start to hear from you. I've been doing enough ranting for 2 episodes. I want to hear in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm right? Do I have a point? Tell me what I got to talk about. Tell me what you want to hear. Comment, rate, subscribe. Boy, I've been waiting a long time to say that. But literally, do those 3 things. Hit that like button. Let me know you appreciate it. And trust me, we got a lot more Mooch to come.